Hello, my Fireflies, and welcome back to TheCyanFirefly. It's me, Lyiat, and today I want to talk about Ashes of Creation Apocalypse and its big opening. Yeah, there's quite a bit to discuss about what's been happening over the past couple of days, so I'd like to start up a game here and just talk to you guys as I go along. So I'm going to queue up a game, and we're going to talk a little bit. There's a couple of things I want to get off my chest here. Okay, and we're in. So, yeah. The release hasn't been the smoothest thing so far. So, to tell you guys what happened, 7 PST rolled around. That's when the servers were supposed to open up. And, nothing happened, and it was a couple of hours before we actually heard from Intrepid, and they were still working on the servers. They kind of pushed that for a while. They kept on telling us that they were working on something. They weren't specific as to what the problem was at the time, but yeah, we just kind of heard that there was some kind of problem with global deployment and that they were working on it. Finally, approaching, I think, around 1 o'clock EST. I'm not exactly sure what the timetable was. They essentially said that it's probably not going to be tonight and they're having problems, and they left it at that. So, this has not been the cleanest release of a game so far. It is now the next day. It is Wednesday. How did somebody already die from gravity? It is now Wednesday, and we're just now finally getting access to the game. It came up at around 5:30 EST, and it's been running okay. They've had to reboot the matchmaking server twice now, so that's not exactly ideal, but people have been getting into games, and now that it's up and running, the experience has been rather smooth. It's just been a matter of getting there. So, where does that kind of leave the game? So, it's been a pretty ugly startup. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been shaky, and a lot of people aren't very happy with how things have gone so far, and I don't really blame them. Intrepid Studios has been running on a platform saying that they're going to kind of make MMOs great again, to steal that tagline. They're not going to fall for the same kind of pitfalls that other MMOs have with their big, bad releases. Now, I will grant you, this is not the MMO. This is not the full release of the game. This is just the side BR mode that's going to keep players entertained and allows them to continue testing the MMO as it's being worked on. But this is still kind of the first big how to do for Intrepid, and for it to have gone this badly is not ideal. Now, I can't say my faith in the studio has been shaken. I'm not going to go that far, but I am a little more cautious than I was before about them missing delay times, because Intrepid has had a history through this testing period of not exactly delivering when they say they're going to deliver. Most of the testing times have been delayed by multiple hours. I think this is the first one, or one of the first ones, that was delayed by an entire day with very little information about it. So it's not great. The other thing I want to bring up is certainly the communication, and the fact that it was delayed this long is something to be concerned about. But now that I understand a little bit more about the monetization model about this, I want to express a couple of concerns about that. So as you guys know, one of the big draws to this mode, at least I covered this in my last video, is the fact that you will be able to unlock cosmetics for... Oh, somebody's been here. You'll be able to unlock cosmetics for the MMO when it comes out. Everything you unlock in this mode will be available for you in the MMO itself. Now, this is all well and good. You'll be able to level up and you'll be able to unlock stuff, but they've also included a pay-to-progress method in that. So at least during the alpha testing, you had the ability to purchase levels in the legendary path for 20 embers apiece. Now, I wouldn't be bringing this up, and I honestly wouldn't care about it all that much if the studio itself hadn't made a big message in one of their previous live streams about how they do not believe in pay to progress and how it's not something that they're going to allow in their game. Now, they're kind of going back on their word a little bit on this. Now, I've heard a couple of stories about people who've talked to Intrepid since then, and apparently the lead designer and owner of Intrepid Studios, his name is Steven, says that he does not see paying for cosmetics, which this certainly is because levels don't offer you any tangible in-game benefits. He doesn't view that as pay to progress. Now, that's certainly his opinion, but I don't think most people would agree, because you are still paying for progress in this mode. Now, granted, this isn't the MMO. It's a BR mode. Ranks have no bearing on how well you can perform. Everything that you unlock through it is purely cosmetic. So it's not something that I dislike existing. I just dislike the fact that it was strongly indicated that we wouldn't have any pay to progress mechanics, and now there appears to be one. It's certainly not working right now. A lot of the things that were supposed to be working today are not working right now. The store isn't working. Questing appears to be bugged. I have not been able to get any experience today, which is all additional black markers that I do have to bring up. But it's still very early on. This is still a beta product, and I'm still willing to put up with it. It's not something that I'm going to freak out over, because I mean, this has all been alpha experience, and I've been in plenty of alphas and plenty of betas to know that things are still being worked on, and that's not my area of contention. My area of contention is the fact that it appears that Intrepid has gone back on their word on something that they've, kind of put as their central marketing for the game. They're not going to be like other MMOs. They are not going to offer pay to progress or pay for advantages or anything like that, which is one of the big draws to the game for a lot of people. And I could see why more people than me are going to be upset by this. So I think this is something that Intrepid really needs to get ahead of, and they kind of need to address this in a big way. I understand their standpoint on it, but they also need to understand our standpoint as consumers, that it kind of looks a bit like they were being dishonest. That might not be their intention. They might have man, I am not finding anything for gear right now. That might not be their intention, and it probably isn't. But they do need to get a message out there saying exactly what they are intending, and not to send missed signals like this, because you're going to drive people away, and that's not a good thing. As for my personal opinion proceeding forward with this game, I still have a lot of faith in it. they've still been very clear and transparent developers. Other than this debacle, I don't think they can handle communication issues like that happened for the release for this. They can't keep doing that, otherwise they're going to lose a lot of faith in their product very quickly, because there were a lot of people upset at the fact that they couldn't play the game last night. There was a lot of people upset that they couldn't play the game through most of today. And while the people who have been playing this game and following the development really closely might be okay with that, a lot of the people that we were trying to bring in to play the game weren't as understanding, and I don't necessarily blame them, because they haven't been involved in this. They're not used to these kind of delays, and it makes it very hard to attract them as potential customers. So I think these are all things that Intrepid needs to really keep in mind as they go forward and kind of walk a little bit more carefully. I mean, and that's kind of all I really have to say about the situation so far. They need to get a lot of the things that they promised would be working today working very soon. As far as everybody was concerned, this was when people were going to be able to progress in the game and actually have everything that they're doing mean something, and that doesn't appear to be the case. Like I said, I can't level up right now. The quests aren't working. I'm not gaining any experience. And yes, while I can play for fun, and it is pretty fun. I mean, the servers seem to be more stable. I'm able to chain dash attacks with weapons that aren't polearms right now, because I'm not getting that weird desync issue where I'm falling several feet before I can dash again. So yeah, it's definitely improving. It's definitely, there, but it's not happening at a time frame I think a lot of people would deem acceptable when they're releasing these expected dates for stuff to be working, and they're not meeting them. Like I said before, they've been saying it's a lot of big talk about how they're not going to fall into those particular pitfalls, and they are, which doesn't look good for the official release. Now, granted, as an MMO player, and I'm sure a lot of you are MMO players, this is something that we're all used to. MMO games missing their deadlines. It happens in every single MMO. It's nothing to really get upset over. It's something that we're all used to. So all in all, that is approaching too quickly. I need to get out of here. But all in all, we're used to it, and it's not something to get too concerned over, I guess, is kind of my point there. But when you speak such a big game about it, and you yourself make it such a big deal that you're going to be better than the other companies out there, and you're going to release your product on time, and you're going to release all your deadlines, and then you don't do it, it puts a little egg on your face. And I can't say for sure whether or not Intrepid's what's the word I'm looking for? Their reputation is really harmed from this move, because I'm getting shot at, because it's a little too early to say anything as grand as that. Where's this guy? But I think you're kind of getting my point. And now I feel like I'm starting to talk in circles, but I mean, this is not something that they can allow to happen again. And yeah, there he is. And I just hope that they do better in the future, and they're a little bit more cognizant of these kinds of things. And I just tripped you out, boy. Get over here. Okay, go ahead. Keep moving. I invite you to keep moving. Thank you. That's my kill. I sure do love doing that. This is the Bone Smasher, by the way. It's a weapon that I haven't liked until recently. Its special ability is that when people move, they take damage after you've hit them with the special proc on it. I don't know how long it lasts, but it is a pretty effective way of ruining somebody's day if they're trying to get away from you. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to get those words out on paper with a quick video. I've really said my piece, and I do hope that people understand what's going on here. I hope that they don't make a big deal out of it in the way that they probably could, and I mean, they're kind of justified in being upset about this, but I still believe that this game does deserve a chance. I think it's way too early to get, too upset about these kinds of early issues, but I'm well aware that people are going to be, and I believe Intrepid needs to be very aware of the situation they've kind of put themselves in and the people that they may have alienated as a result of the delays over the past couple of days and the lack of communication more than anything. I mean, quite frankly, it's one thing to say that, we have a problem, we're working on it, and we need some time. And it's another thing to say, okay, we have a problem, we're working on a fix, we're going to be ready in 10 minutes, and then 30 minutes later telling us that we're still having a problem, it's going to be another 30 minutes, and then doing that over and over and over again, which is kind of what Intrepid did on the release. You can't do that. That upsets people even more than missing a deadline and then saying that we can't do this today. Because you're keeping people up way later probably than they should be. A lot of people who are into these kinds of games are students, or like me, they work a 9 to 5. So if we're staying up to play your game and we're invested in your game, we don't want to be up until 2 o'clock in the morning and then have nothing to show for it because we didn't actually get to play the game that you promised us. We'd rather be told that, hey, yeah, it's broken, you can go to bed now, and, just be done with it. I'd rather have a full night's sleep after not being able to play the game than being exhausted and being pissed off the next day. And this guy is... Did he activate Catfall Boots? I think he did. Okay. Oh, I just missed my attacks. That's not good. Where did he go? Shoot! He's gonna take me out. Okay, if I activate Dark Pact, I can run out here. And I can avoid him. Let's see here. Okay, and that expired, and now I need to heal up. Whew, that was a little tight. Anyway. So, yeah. And, that's where we currently are. I suggest everybody, at the very least, if you've been interested in this game, don't mark it off yet. Keep an eye on it. Make sure that you're watching the development. Watch for more faux pas like this, and keep an open mind. Don't necessarily think that this is the death of the game. It's nothing nearly as dramatic as that, but it is something to keep an eye on. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this game. And I'm going to take out this guy. Okay, maybe he'll take me out. Ow! Oh, boy. Yeah. That's about the way of things. But that's where we are. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've at least considered what you've said and what I've said, and if you're from Intrepid, I hope you've taken the things I've said to heart and go forward with a little bit of better way of handling things, because that wasn't the best PR you've had so far. But for now, this has been Lyiat with the TheCyanFirefly, and it appears that the quests are working right now. Hopefully they stay working. I will see you all next time. See you later, guys.